thereof?
Thank you so much. First and foremost, the good news that 2024-25 we hit the targets of 58 billion by 61 billion, or we achieved 61 billion, Pula. Yes, we did have challenges. The filing wasn't that up to the expected standard, though. It was a bit low, but we did appreciate that there were some challenges because most of it, taxpayers or those who are actually employed did not get their pay-as-you-earn remitted to BURS on time or filed by their employees. And yeah, the rest of the issues is just us as people at times. I don't know whether it's an issue of us not knowing what to do at what time or just being reluctant to do things. Yes.
Definitely. I think that can be one of the challenges that we might be having again this year. How do we deal with that issue where the employer is not providing the relevant documents?
This year we've been deliberate that we are going to engage the employers on time such that they are able to do the needful in time for the employees to actually submit their returns on time also. So even during our launch, you may recall that our theme was centered on talking to the employers because if they don't submit or file their returns or the ITW9s, they do not come, then their employees won't be able to do the needful. And the employees also need the ITW8 for them to file their returns.
Most definitely.
Yes.
Emma, we can now transition to this year and talk about the main expectations or your targets for 2025 tax season. What are you expecting? How are the numbers that you're expecting in terms of filing, especially particularly this year?
In as far as the numbers are concerned, we expect more than 40,000 people to do their filing. Over 40,000 should be doing their filing. And you may recall that last year we actually expected about, it was about the same number, 40,584, and only 95% was actually filed. No, actually, the success rate was 55 last year. Yes, it was only 55%.
Okay.
So we didn't reach the expected targets.
All right. Maybe we can get into that and talk about really what is expected of an employee. Who is this person that's supposed to submit the ITW8? Who are these people? What are the requirements or what is the criteria for me to check that I actually should be on my feet and make sure that I do this on time?
Okay, thank you very much. You may recall that for those of us who are employed, for us to be able to meet our obligations, first and foremost, our employers withhold our taxes, which is in the form of pay-as-you-earn. And therefore, the first point is for the employer to actually file their ITW9s with the BURS such that we'll have whatever has been withheld from the employees in our system, such that when time comes for them now to file their own returns, everything is already in the system. So, and now with the ITW9s filed, the employees should be having their tax certificates, which is the ITW8, and then they can be able to now file their individual tax returns. And once the ITW9 have been captured, like I have indicated, you come with your ITW8, you just load it, and then everything goes smoothly. You don't have to punch any numbers because the figures are already in the system. You just have to ensure that it's accurate. It's exactly what has been withheld from you as your pay as you earn. Yes.
And these are employees who earn more than 48,000 pula per annum.
Yes, those who earn more than 48,000 per annum or 40,000 per month. They are supposed to be filing. And actually, I should explain that the law says everybody has to do their filing. But for convenience and knowing that actually the employees are doing the right thing and submitting whatever they have withheld from our employees, that's why we said those whom we are very sure that their employees have submitted up to 48,000 per annum cannot just come to us or do the filing. Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Maybe if we can get more onto that. I've seen a bit of an interaction with the public in your Facebook platform. The question there was among the numbers, is it 480,000 per annum or 48,000 per annum? And also, who else qualifies? Is it a person who also owns a business? You also should make sure you submit returns, just those particulars right there.
Thank you very much. Yes, I'm quite aware of the confusion of the 480,000 and the 48,000. The 480,000 is just the threshold that we have put to say those who are earning 480,000 per annum. And like I said, for ease of understanding, 40,000 per month should not file their returns.
Right.
Considering the fact that we already have their payments have already been done or their employees have already filed. And the 48,000 is the threshold for payment of tax, who is eligible for paying tax. So those who are earning less than 48,000 per annum do not pay tax.
Yes.
Yes. So it's those who are exempted from paying tax. It's the 48,000 per annum.
All right.
Yes.
And I do believe that you're going to keep on getting questions and calls right there to ask questions on being overtaxed and undertaxed if you still do submit returns. And I believe your office will be able to clarify those. And if we can speak more on your target for this year, if you're targeting more than 40,000 people for filing, what really do we mean by target? Do we mean that all these, like you were speaking of the 55% of last year, when we target more than 40,000 people, if you can explain that or describe that more for us to be able to account with you or transition with you up until the time when we now get the report.
I believe the 40,000 is looking at people who are eligible for paying their taxes. Individuals who are eligible for paying their taxes. When we do our research, when we depend on the previous filings, that's when we are saying probably it's over 40,000 actually should be coming forward to file their returns or their tax returns. And actually earlier on you asked about the people who has to file their returns. And like we have indicated, you might be earning less than 48,000 per annum, but having more than one jobs or having some other income streams. And in that case, you have to file your returns. For the sake of protecting yourself in case those several people who are paying you some income and you believe that is less than the threshold for paying tax, they do not take anything from you. So when we combine all those, probably you are going to be above the threshold for paying taxes. So that is why we're saying if you have more than one streams of income, you have to file such that we assist you to check whether you have been charged tax accordingly, because we have seen many a times people at the end of the day when they retire or whenever they are looking for their tax clearance reports, they then realize that they have been earning a lot and now they are owing a lot of taxes. So that is why we encourage them, regardless of how much they are earning, as long as they have more than one income stream, they have to come or they have to file their returns. Yes, ma'am.
Maybe right there we can then talk about tax compliance in Botswana. How have you been seeing it coming along over the years? And maybe we can also give a look at 2024 filing season and up until, or maybe 2023 to 2024. What are the improvements and what more improvements are we expecting this year? In terms of compliance, how are Batswana doing?
From where we are coming from, yes, I believe we haven't been doing much as the Revenue Service because education is key. We have to educate people on what we expect from them. And from 2023, yes, the compliance was there, but not yet there. I would say 2024, it increased about 10% or so, and probably it could have been more, but because of the challenges that we experienced of the ITW aids not given to people, that's why probably we couldn't reach the target that we had expected. Because by then we had really done a lot in as far as community outreaches, education programs all over. And we are continuing actually to make sure that we educate people on the importance of paying their taxes and what it is that is expected from them. And for this year, we expect even more because for us, voluntary compliance is key. And how do people voluntarily comply? One, we have to be accessible as the Revenue Service to explain to people what it is that is expected of them. And two, for them to also comply, our systems have to be user-friendly. And our offices have to be accessible. And nobody should find themselves really not knowing who to talk to anytime. That is why we have leveraged much on technology. We have a good number of digital platforms for people to do the needful. And
Actually,
we are
that's where I
even
want
going
us
to
to
the
get
extent
into.
of using the mobile tax.
Yes, that's actually what I want us to get into. And this time around, you were very big on digital, making use of digital platforms. Maybe we can get more into that, how you have strategically placed yourself to be accessible, more accessible as compared to the previous years.
Yes, ma'am. Like I have indicated, our offices, first and foremost, when you get there, for those of us who are not able to access our e-services, when you get to our offices, something that we were launching actually last week, we have the electronic queuing system that is so efficient. So when you get to our offices, you'll find that you don't struggle to access whoever has to actually assist you in whatever you need from our offices. We also have our e-services. Our e-services are user-friendly. You get into the system, you file your returns, and if you do not have any challenge, it's going to be very smooth. So we have really optimized our systems such that people do not face any challenges whenever they access our e-services. And we have also come up with the mobile tax application. Just in your mobile phone, you can do your filing. And whenever you come to our offices, which we discourage people to do so because we have the digital platforms, we also provide you with free Wi-Fi. And when you get to our offices also, say you really do not have your mobile phone, we have kiosks around where you can sit and do your filing. Or then in that case, if you have any problem, there are officers who can come and help you. So we have made sure that we close all the gaps. So there is no excuse for anybody to say, I wasn't able to file my return on time because I had challenges. We are opening up digital platforms, physical walk-ins. We make sure that we assist you smoothly.
Yes, ma'am.
No more queues for BURS.
No more queues.
Yes.
I love that. So, if speaking of closing gaps, people in rural areas or digitally underserved places,
Yes.
how do we reach them? You were speaking of SMSs that you can text. Is that the way that they can also come on board? And do they also know about these services that are available?
Yes, our outreach, that's where we are coming in. We go to the rural places, and for this year, we have launched some mobile offices. I believe you have seen our cars. We have mobile offices that go around to assist those who cannot access our offices. So we use them mostly out there for those whom we believe that they do not have access or in their vicinity to our BURS offices. So our mobile tax unit is very busy, and in that vehicle, you go in there, you get everything. You can file, you can print, and you can do anything that you can do at our offices. So we are getting out there to the people who do not have access to our offices to do the needful. Yes.
Seems like BURS is doing a lot, making strides when it comes to digital transformation. But thank you so much for your time this morning.
Thank you very much, and thank you to your listeners.
Emma.
Yeah.
All right, it's a BURS filing season. When now ole motho ene gore o mo o tshwanetse gore o tsise these tax returns to the BURS. Make sure you do what is needful and in time. Stay with us. Good morning.
I need to indicate that as the Ministry of Environment and Tourism, we have a strategy, and in this strategy, we talk about tourism development areas. These areas are different. It will be dams where we are going to be doing dam tourism. It's heritage sites, cultural tourism. You know, these are areas that we want to venture into. So, how was identified some years ago, and it is doing very well. And as you know, we are trying to make sure that we infuse the private sector into these events, because having run them from the time we started running Khawa, we have realized that it is time now for the private sector to slowly take over, because it is not our intention to run events of this nature, but it is our intention to start to cultivate, hive them to the private sector. We are at a point where now, you know, the government has partnered with another company, a private company. We are running this thing together, and ultimately it is our intention to actually hive it off, so that it's something that is run by the private sector. You see, initially the idea was we wanted to start this thing and, you know, have it so developed to a point where now even when you leave, when our event finishes, there should be something like a lodge, something like, you know, where people can actually come to Khawa and do something all year round. Because right now, what we see is that it's a weekend event, but the intention was to develop it so that it becomes a permanent tourist attraction that can be consumed all year round. Talking about the tourism development areas, we would want to do similar events in other areas depending on what those areas offer. This side Rally Descent Dunes, we have culture, and then we will look out to other areas and see what do they have, so that we kind of customize events of this nature, customize them to what those areas are strong at.
Kudwa ka Mathangwane, kudwa ka Tutume, kuGantsi, kuMaung, and indeed kuGaborone. We are behind you, the mass. Endani, Tatamilani Oloto, make us proud. Call the mass, call the mass.
Her name is Poto, her name is Strength, her name is Botswana. Shapa the mass, Shapa!
This is more than football. This is history in the making. Go the mass, go!
These ladies have trained, have sweat in the dust, and now they rise up, fearless, focused, and fired up for the Africa's big stage.
This is their moment. This is our story. Sharper the mares, sharper.
This is Botswana. Awesome mares. Give them nightmares. Zigzag them to the right, zigzag them to the left. Bamboozle them. Yele, dinam pasona ta khola dina.